In this week's video I'm going to be tackling the mastic and the varnish around the galley. You'll remember last year I had to leave the job kind of half done when we couldn't get the right colour of mastic. I'm going to get all my ducks in a row and I'm going to give you some top tips on what varnish and tools to use to get a good finish. We're going to be doing some Oh Glorious sanding, I'm sure Mads will like that. And I'll be introducing a new sport of extreme masticing while the boat's rocking at anchor. Enjoy the video, guys. So when varnishing my boats, I've always used cuprinol or ronsil. Now those are trade names. I've never used the super duper yacht varnishes that you buy at the chandlers for the same price as liquid gold. It's a clear polyurethane varnish which is oil based that I'm using. So for your information, other types of polyurethane varnish are available, but these are water based and they can be gloss or matte or even a semi-gloss or satin. Not all polyurethanes are created equal. Now it goes without saying that if you're using a water-based polyurethane, you certainly can't use it outdoors, where it's wet that is. Now you may be tempted by a salesman to use something like a lacquer. These really aren't the kind of thing that you need on a boat. They are fairly tough, but they're not great, and polyurethane gives the best durability all round, although it does dry exceedingly slowly. Over the years we've found that the key to a good finish is to have a good quality brush. Always make sure it's animal hair and not plastic or nylon. Those cheap brushes you buy in the chandlers are good for nothing but fiberglassing and applying thick eyeliner. As with all these things, you need to invest in some quality brushes. A quality brush will last you a long time. Just remember to have the right thinner or brush cleaner to clean it out afterwards, and don't pour it in the sea when you're done. A good quality brush will have a nice shape and be thick at the base. It will hold a lot of material. They're made from animal hair. Nylon or plastic just doesn't do the job. So if you want a good quality finish, it's worth investing in a good quality brush, and I mean at least €5 or €6 or bucks. That's £4 or £5 for a single 2-inch brush. So a good rule of thumb is, the better the brush, the better the finish. I can hear the keyboard warriors stretching their hands out towards the QWERTY board now. What about the foam brush? I always use a foam brush and don't have any issues. Well, that's fine. If you want to use a foam brush, go ahead and use one. But I've never had a good finish with varnish using a foam brush. And the same goes for rollers. You want to try and avoid bubbles in varnish, and rollers create more. I'll give some more top tips in a few minutes. Well, we're down to the last 4 jobs on the whiteboard now. The gas pipe is to fit a new braided gas hose to the cooker, so that's the oven and the 2 hobs. Woodwork I'm just about to start. I've got white mastic to do in the heads around the floor, tray for the shower pump, and I've got the grey mastic. Let's show you how I'm getting on. So I've had to throw everything in the back cabin, start peeling out the older mastic, which was the mastic I put in last year, which is a more of a whitey grey. And what I've done is started cutting out, as you can see there, that mastic without damaging the worktop. using a scalpel and a craft knife. It comes out reasonably easy, you just got to be very careful. Then I'm going to finish off masking all the way around, and I'll mask on the inside as well. Rub this down and then give it another few coats of varnish. There's a fly in here that won't bugger off. Go on mate, go. Yeah, so that masked up all of that along there. I'll rub all this lot down, get a better finish on it. And then I've got some dark grey mastic which matches the original mastic, which is this colour here. So I can't really do it with one hand. But what I do is I've got a set of scalpels. Let me show you. I run the scalpel in there and then along there. It's very difficult to film in. Oh, look at that fly, look! The cheek of you, mate! Go on, away! Yeah, so just very carefully so that I'm not digging into the countertop. And then I'll go along and trim. There we go. I'll trim this off, look. Just gently, gently. Look at that, I should have been a surgeon. So once all that's all out, I'll show you, and then I'll mask it up, and we'll then go over the top of what remains. I'll clean this with some denatured alcohol or something to take any grease off. But let's do the varnishing first and let's get it masked up first and do the varnishing. It should come up alright. It will certainly come up better. I was never happy with the job anyway, so let's get that out. I made a mistake earlier. I forgot to put the Tohatsu on there. Got the parts coming when Cindy comes back from the UK. Not quite sure when that is. That's a job that needs to be done. The engine's just hanging off the rail at the moment. As I say, I know what's wrong with it. Right, let's have a look at this. So all of that's now cleaned out. The only grey that you can see is in the groove where this piece of timber is rebaited and stuck on. And if I show you here, if you look along here, along this gap here, that's going to be the size of the mastic joint. Now what I will do is, this blue tape is protecting the worktop at the moment when I do the sanding. When I go to do the mastic after I've done the varnishing, I'll check all this and then I'll put another layer up here. But you can't put that blue tape on this surface until obviously it's gone off, and that can take 3 or 4 days with varnish for it to fully cure. So again, if I turn this way, you can see the gap. That gap is less than 5 mil, less than a quarter of an inch. I would say 3/16. Well, I don't know, no, less than that. Probably 4 mil. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to start sanding now, gently. I'm not going to use the machine. I'm going to use a flat block because I want to take the tops off. Now, top tip for when you're taking this mastic out of somewhere or off of somewhere, if you're on the plastic, use these white sponges. This one's a bit dirty now, but that was a new sponge, and rub it in and push it in with a pair of scissors or a blunt knife, a butter knife or something. Push it into that joint, and that will take the residual mastic off. When you get into the corners, you need to cut the corners out with a scalpel so that you get the same radius. Right, let's get on with the sanding. Okay, so I've rubbed this down with 260 grit. Taken all of the dust away now with the vacuum cleaner, and then I've wiped it down with a damp cloth, like a tack cloth, to take any residuals off. There's a few places where it still needs a little bit more. I'll show you. For example, in this corner Can you see there? You can just see it. We've hit the high spots, the low spots. A little bit on this corner again. A little bit there, and a bit there on that corner. There. So what? And a bit there. So I'm just gonna do those, and I've had a spot of lunch. This is the cuprinol I'm using. Sorry, varnish I'm using. It's cuprinol classic. Bought this in Turkey. I'm using white spirit to thin it down, so I'll probably go 70-30 on the first coat, just to get a seal, and then I'll build the coats up from that. Probably 3 more, I think. Then once that's done, I'll let it harden off, and then I'll do the masticing with the dark grey mastic to match the rest. And then when I've done all that, I can clean and polish all of this woodwork in here, and then I've got to get the oven out to do my gas pipe at the back. That I don't know if you can catch this. There's a little bit there as well wants doing. So I will bring the blind down because I don't want this sun to get on there while I'm varnishing, because what happens is it causes bubbles in the varnish if you get hot sunlight like that on it. A couple of places. The more I look, the more I see. I'll have to stop looking, I guess. Right, I'm gonna have a spot of lunch. I'll show you what it's like when I've done the next bit. Oh, there we go. I've had my lunch. It's in there. Put a thin coat on, so that I'm guessing that's about 70-30, and it's just starting to kick in places. It's a bit uneven drying at the moment, which is why it probably looks a bit patchy. A blasted sun on there. I should have closed that, shouldn't I? I'll do it now. But yeah, so tomorrow when that's hardened off, a bit of 500 grit or 800 grit, and just knock the top off, make it smoother, and then another coat at a slightly higher percentage of yacht varnish. I'll have to be careful of this now to make sure that I don't nudge it or nick it, which is why I haven't done the washing up. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
2 days later.
Oh, back on the timber again. So that is coat number 5. It's had 5 coats, and I've just rubbed it down with some 400 grit. I started rubbing it down with 800, but it was just too fine, and I'm trying to get these brush marks out. I've got a really fine brush, but it was leaving a few marks earlier. You can see there. So I'm going to take the dust off with a vacuum cleaner, and then get another coat on. Oh crikey, it's warm. Needs a bit more there, a bit more sanding. Trouble is, you know, with this work surface, I can't use anything while it's wet, and I've got everything thrown in the back cabin just to try and keep it out of the way. Right, let's get rid of that dust. So we are now on coat number 6, and it does need a rub down, and yes, that's the washing up. It needs a rub down and perhaps a thinner coat, but even in this heat it's taken a long while. That's 2 days old, a long while to dry hard enough to sand, and I want to get a smooth finish, and we're getting there, but it's taken a while. And of course I've got the mastic to do, and I'm, you know, trying to have my peanut butter on toast, and the minimal amount of washing up, so I keep all this lot clean and tidy. I don't know. Right, I'll give it another couple of hours because I need to start editing, otherwise you won't have a video this week. Well, that's the varnishing done. I've got the finish that I want. I've got a nice sheen to it. That's 8 coats, 4 rub downs, and it's now a day and a half since I actually did the last coat, so it's hardened off a bit, and I'm going to put the grey mastic down. I don't know whether I'll be able to film this because the boat is jumping up and down a little bit. The ferries are rushing in and out. But let's see, I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished anyway. I've got to put some tape around first and get my mastic tools ready. I'm not quite sure how much of this you're going to see or hear.
I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no. I've been down so long that my mind can't get no rest. No, no. This ain't easy, darling, 'cause the devil's on my trail. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh yeah. I've been running so long that my feet don't work no more. Oh no. It ain't easy, darling, when the devil's on my trail. Oh yeah.
Once it's that's it all done. Once it's gone off, I will take a white sponge, just white scratchy, gently just wipe it over, take the sheen off it. Oh, job done at last. Whew. Oh no, I've got this bit here to do. I better do that bit. I wonder if I can get the camera in so that you can see what's going on. Job John. Job done. So it wouldn't be a proper video without giving you 10 top tips, would it? Tip number 1. Sand and degrease the area thoroughly. So use something like denatured alcohol or Cindy's nail varnish remover. That works pretty well. The first coat that you put on, use 50-50 thinner. So with polyurethane, that would be something like white spirit or even turpentine. So top tip number 3, on coats 2 and 3, reduce it to 30% thinner and 70% varnish and carry on with that mixture until the last coat, which is number 5. Don't forget to rub down every other coat and start with a heavier grit of sandpaper like 180, working up to a 400 before the last coat. And remember, you're not trying to sand the varnish off, you're trying to key it up for the next coat and knock down any high spots that have occurred. The last coat, well yes, 20% thinner, 80% varnish, we've done that one. Number 6, let the coats dry properly before you do any sanding, otherwise you'll just roll the varnish off. It will literally come off on the sandpaper. So number 7, use a good quality soft animal hairbrush. Don't use plastic or foam brushes. We haven't had any success with that type of brush. Number 8, always stir the varnish in the tin first before every coat. Don't shake it. You don't want to get bubbles in the varnish. They'll stay in it. So number 9, more coats thinner is the best way to get a good finish. So apply more coats but make them slightly thinner. That way you'll get a really good finish and you'll build up the layers of varnish, which is what gives you that good gloss. And finally, keep varnishing brush clean and don't use it for other paints. It will last you a lifetime. Now next week I'll be back out on the water, but meanwhile don't forget to subscribe, ding the bell, share and give us a like. It's free to do that and it helps us beat the algorithm on YouTube, which doesn't really like us for some reason. Now we've been saying this forever. It costs us money to make these videos and we make the videos for your entertainment, educational and indulgence. So if you get something out of them, perhaps you could buy us a beer or think of becoming a Patreon. There's lots of things Patreons get that you don't get on YouTube. You can track us in real time via our InReach. You can also phone us, contact us, text us and ask for advice or help. We're always here to help patrons. Anyway, it would be really nice if you join the crew. So pop along to www.patreon.com/SV Impavidus. Thanks for watching guys. Sail safe.